Ewan,
Calum.
it is a very shite, blustery day here in Scotland. I'm quite hungover, and it's a Sunday, so there's no better game to play than Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD Edition on a Sunday when you're hungover.
Is this because it requires no actual thought, or
It requires a lot of thought. It's just a game that I know very well, so I can do it
that's
basically
fair enough.
without thinking.
This is like your chill game, right?
This is my
your
chill game.
let's not think of anything. Let's just do this.
When I have like half an hour to spare or whatever,
Sure.
I just load up. Good old Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Play a wee
So
round.
we've talked a lot about this over the years.
Yeah, over the podcast years, we talked about how much I love this series.
Yeah, and I think last time we talked about this, you just said that this was the best in the series so
Yeah,
far.
so three's the best, but two's the one I have the most fun this for.
Sure.
I've probably
Okay,
at this point I've probably played more 3 than 2, mainly because it's a better game.
Right.
I'll explain why when we get into it.
Okay,
but...
sure. Let's get into this.
So Ewan is here as a student learning from the master, learning how to play at least reasonably good Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Yeah, I'm hoping to learn something from this.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is let me start off by asking you a question, Ewan. Do you know
Yes.
why it's called Heroes of Might and Magic?
Was Heroes of Might and Magic not a series before?
Well, Might and Magic was a series.
Might and Magic
before.
was a series.
Yeah, because this is so when Yubi bought the license for Might and Magic, they gave it this symbol here. There's
Yep.
like the Might and Magic lineage symbol, and then put the heroes on top of it.
Sure.
But it was Heroes of Might and Magic. It's from the same lineage.
Because there was another Might and Magic thing. Was there not? Like the first person shooter, the first person.
Oh, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
Yeah, it's the same series technically, right?
Technically, yeah, I think it's the same universe.
Okay.
So the reason it's called Heroes of Might and Magic. Sorry, we're gonna play on Emerald Isles today because it's a map I'm really familiar with.
Fair enough.
So the reason it's called Heroes of Might and Magic is because all these factions that are in the game here, all these lovely factions, are split into 2 camps. They're either camped into the Might School, which is like Castle here, one of the people that I play a lot of, which
Sure.
focus mainly on units and unit damage and just hitting
Sure.
you in the face until you're dead.
Sure.
Or the Might School, which is Tower, which is actually my main, which focus on spells as one of, if they're not their primary source of damage.
Sure.
And then there's a bunch of other ones, so there's like Rampart, which is kind of a Might and Magic school, there's Infernal, which is a Might school, and all that sort of stuff. So they all split into different camps.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
today,
that makes sense.
so what do you want me to play? You enjoy to play my main guys? Do you want me to play my off-main guys? Do you want to play something I'm not familiar with? What do you want me to do?
I think we should do your main guys because this is
Main
supposed to be an
guys.
education for me, so I want you
Alright.
to be able to be comfortable in teaching me these things.
So Tower are my main guys. So when you play Tower, I always go, where's this guy? Solomir.
So did these have like
So
just
this is your first hero, and each hero has a specialization,
Oh, okay.
which affects basically how it works. Typically, when I pick a starting hero, I would pick someone that has this plus 350 gold per week thing, because it's just a good little boost to your economy.
Sure.
But when you play Tower and you deal with magic damage, I always like this guy, because Chain Lightning's a really busted spell, and you'll see why.
Okay.
I'll just go Artifact as a starting bonus, and then everything else should all be randomized.
Like 3 other.
Yes, there's Artifact, some extra gold, or some extra resources.
Okay.
Artifact is just better because that helps you throughout the entire game, whereas these run out and you can get more of
Sure.
these fairly easily.
But they give you a head start.
They give you a
in some
little
respects.
boost, but it's all fine.
And you're playing against 3 CPU.
Well,
units.
it's a team, so they've got an ally in this tan player here,
Okay.
and 2 enemies in the blue and the purple.
How can you tell they're an ally? Sorry.
Sorry, it says they're allies, and then the
Oh,
red
right.
flag and the
okay.
tan flag.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so everything's all set up. I don't care who I get as an ally. Just on the map.
Okay. So we should also mention this is the HD edition.
Yes,
So what does this just basically take the original game, run it at 720?
Yes, so this is original Heroes of Might and Magic 3, so no Armageddon's Blade or Shadows of Death, the 2 expansions.
expansions,
None of
I
that,
assume.
because yeah, they're the expansions. So
Sure.
we don't want to play with conflicts or anything like that because they were
Sure.
busted.
Of course, I knew that. Yeah.
Of course you do. And yeah, it's just it's the base game but brought forward. All the models have been kind of redrawn and look nicer and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so the objective of this game, there's my ally. So we've got Dungeon as an ally, which is kind of meh, because Dungeon are a bit shit. But so yeah, the goal of this is basically to kill everybody else, except for this guy who's my friend.
Okay.
So, first turn, what I always do is we go into the little castle here. So this is your base, this is your home
Yep.
base, this is the tower base.
Yes, because 3 was the one that I remember seeing that they'd obviously done 3D models for all the graphics and just rendered them out.
Yeah.
Whereas 2 was very much hand drawn.
Yeah, that was all kind of hand-drawn art.
Yeah, okay.
So the first thing we always do is we upgrade our... So you go into this village hall here to build all the buildings here.
I like how you say we, like It's a
It's this collective of
Yeah.
us heroes and Mount Magic players. I'll say again, I'm not like a professional at this. You can go and watch the Russian streamers who know exactly what they're doing in this. I just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
understand this game a lot.
So is anyone streaming this that's not Russian anymore?
I've got no idea. Every stream I ever see is all Russians, so
Okay.
I don't know. So first town I'll always upgrade the village hall just to get more money per week. This is the amount of money you get per week,
Sure.
and we need money to buy things. So always upgrade that first, and again get whatever units we have. So we send this guy up here because we can see there's another artifact up here. This
Yep,
little
there's a
crown
bunch
thing.
of stuff up there.
There is,
Looks like.
so we go and pay this. Also, the first thing we do is we go into the tavern and buy a second hero. Luckily, we get the hero with the specialization that gets us extra gold per week, so that's very good.
So that was the thing that, like, I remember when I used to play these games, like, it would take me a while to get my second hero because I would
So
like,
you always-
try and
and-
buff
and-
up the first one.
In bigger maps, in like really, really big maps, you have like multiple heroes all at once because you need to run basically like a supply chain.
Right.
So when you buy units out of your castle or from anywhere else, you need to just ferry them in between heroes to
Oh,
get them
okay.
to your main army. It's
Sure.
called muling or ferrying is the term.
Sure. Makes sense.
So this is going to be our mule, but she's not going to do much because a lot of this is about sea travel.
Okay.
Oh, okay, she's got Scholar, so we taught our main hero the spell Curse because she has Scholar as an ability,
Okay.
which teaches you spells.
To teach others first and second level
First,
spells.
second level spells.
Okay.
So this guy has basic wisdom, which lets him learn third level spells and extra damage to spells, which is all good. So we're going to give him all the units, bar one gremlin.
Can you not give all units? You have to
No,
have one
because
unit?
that means the hero stops existing. But also,
Oh,
their
right.
movement across the map is dependent on how many units they have in their army.
Oh, I never knew that.
And
Okay.
because this person's a mule, we want them to travel quickly, so we want them the least amount of units possible.
Sure.
So this guy's going to go up here to try and get this artifact because he's the main guy.
I like the idea of them just carrying all of those creatures on his back, which is why
Well,
it's
it's
so
supposed to be
heavy.
like an army. It's supposed to be like you're leading this
Yeah, okay, that
huge
makes
army
sense.
behind you.
That makes sense.
We don't really need gold right now, so you always go for XP because we need to level up our guy. This is an interest. So every level you get +1 of one of these stats, which is like attack, defend, spell power, and knowledge, which is your mana pool.
Mhm.
So we just gained some knowledge, so we've got a higher mana pool now. And every level you get to choose between picking one of these two skills to level up your guy with. Now, advanced wisdom is very good because it lets you learn more spells. But because that's an upgrade of a skill we already have, it means it's more likely to come up on level ups. And
Oh,
basic,
okay.
and basic archery is really good because we have some really strong ranged units in tower,
Right.
and that does extra 10% range damage.
Okay, that
So
makes sense.
That's a really good level up to have, which is a pretty good
So,
first.
so what's the overall goal in these maps? Just take out everyone else?
Take out
Is that-
everybody.
yeah.
Take out your enemies.
Sure.
Take over the castles, kill all the heroes. So
Sure.
keep going for level ups. It's not really that many good earth magic spells, so we'll just stick with archery.
So why are you dumping the gold? I thought gold was super important at this point.
Not really, because like we have like 3,000, and early on we're earning 1,000 per week. We don't really need a lot of gold for the early buildings.
Oh,
We need
okay.
it later on. Oh, empty wagons. That's kind of shit.
So there's a lot of these like, kind of incidental things lying out in the,
Yeah,
the world.
there's a lot of little things. So there's some mercury we can pick up.
I mean, the closest thing, like, for people who have never played this before, like, it's more of a kind of FTL thing, right? Where it's like random events will happen.
It's not really random events. It's more like you can see what's on the map. It's very much a tactical game where you have to.
But
sit
like,
and-
it's basically a dice roll to see whether there's anything useful in that.
Oh
wagon
yeah,
and stuff
totally,
like
yeah.
that.
So like
Yeah.
the one of the dice rolls that can happen here. So this artifact here, we need to see if we get lucky on this. Okay, so it's just a buy, so that's fine. Buy that.
So what does it do?
That's +4 knowledge, yeah. Okay, +4 knowledge. So we got a massive amount of base. Every so often you get there is a
okay.
guy on this artifact that's like a hermit that says I'm only going to give this artifact to someone who I consider very wise, which means you have to level up to like level 6 or something.
So
like
can
that.
you go back into your character a sec? Once
Yes.
you get a sec. So the attack, defense, power, knowledge, are they?
Yeah.
Do they apply to your units?
So
Do they apply
attack
to your
attack and defend apply to your units. So that's extra damage your units can do and how much they can resist as defend.
Okay.
Power applies to how much damage your spells do,
units? Sure.
and knowledge applies to your mana pool.
Okay.
And that's
Sure.
it.
Makes sense.
So, I'm going to keep going. So here's a Learning Stone, which gives a free 1,000 XP to any hero. So we give that to our mule, because she might be able to learn something useful. Not really. Intelligence is fine.
So how long is an average game of this?
Depends on difficulty. I've set this to kind of an easier difficulty, so I'll give it 20 minutes maybe. Not
To
very long.
completion?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Depending on
Okay.
how fast I can get out, we'll see. Need to see.
Okay.
So we've upgraded the city hall or the town halls, so we need to now get ranged units because ranged units are really important early on. And luckily, that's the upgrade to our tier 1 unit. So we just upgrade our little workshop to get master gremlins.
Sure.
So we go back. We take our main army, go back to the castle, and upgrade the gremlins, the master gremlins.
Oh, because you need to upgrade your current units. Right.
And now we have a ranged unit, because ranged units are really important early on, as I'll show you when we get into combat for the first time. Just getting the gargoyle parapet.
God, those 3D models, the gargoyles look terrible.
Well, they're better than they did back in the original.
I kind of preferred the hand-drawn one, actually.
Okay, so we'll get into combat now, because now we need to start getting resources, because we need wood and stone really early on.
Sure.
So there's a mill and there's an ore pit, so we're gonna go fight these halberds.
Okay, here we go. This is the bit.
So this is the other half of Heroes of Might and Magic. This is the combat. It is based on the hex grid. Every unit has its stats here, its attacks, defense. So the thing that you look at the health of the unit and you look at the speed of the unit. The speed dictates how far they can move and which turn they'll appear in combat.
Sure.
So these have a speed of 6, these have a speed of 5, and these have a speed of 5. So these get attacked first. So as a high-level strategy, because the AI is pretty dumb in this game, you can do
that was going to be my next question. Yeah.
You can do a thing called stacking, which is if I put this unit up here, it's going to force this unit to move this way, which means that it takes a longer. Well, it should actually technically move it down this way, but I'm probably not going to get to act before him. So I'm going to move this up here. He's going to walk up, and we're going to get free hits on him with our ranged unit.
Because he has to go around that crevice.
He has to go around the crevice. He doesn't need to do it, so we make him defend. Ranged unit, easy. So that's why ranged units are incredibly important early on, because most of the time you're just stacking minions and then
force them
hitting
to
them with
go
ranged
to certain...
units. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we just need to do this.
So there's not
some really good artifact over here. Sorry.
Summon boat, useful.
Well, that's useful because this map is a series of small islands.
Right.
But this artifact is going to be useful when we pick up. She can't fight because she doesn't have anything, so she just gets to go back to the castle and sit there and wait for units to get made. So this is the Alvin. Oh yeah, Dragonwind Hammer. So this, I think, increases your power and your knowledge. Yeah. So that's really good for tower. So this is a pretty good start of 2 artifacts we have for a tower play.
Sure.
This increases our movement on the sea, which is really good on this map because we're taking boats everywhere.
So these maps aren't random; they are set out.
There are set maps, yeah. Okay. This is like in tournaments and all that sort of stuff. People pick maps because they know the play style of that map or whatever. Sure. So he gets 3000 XP. Luck's not really all that good, so just take its wisdom now.
Is luck just like luck in most of these games,
so
which is like a random modifier in dice rolls?
Pretty much. So the 2 things that affect your units that aren't attack and defense are your morale and your luck. So your morale affects if they, as it says there, they can sometimes get an extra attack, or if they've got really low morale, they freeze and don't get a move.
Sure.
This is a problem for what they called in this game, the Acropolis players, so like undead players, because having undead units in your army lowers your morale. So they have a real problem with.
Is it not like if they're all undead, they're fine?
No, it's normally like units of the same faction together will increase your morale, but for undead specifically, if you have undead units, your morale gets lowered. So it's just straight
Even
out.
if you're an undead player?
I don't know about that. I don't know if you're an undead, because I don't play undead, so I'm not really sure. But
sure.
It was like that in the older games. And your luck is every so often you get lucky and you deal double damage in combat.
Okay.
Or you get like this horseshoe appear above your head. And
sure.
So we continue building. So we want to... Obsidian Gargoyles are actually really good early, so we can get that pretty fast. So that's pretty good.
So every time you hit a turn, it's a day, and these things regenerate every week, right?
At the start of every week, there is a new unit that gets made. So we want to... So the first thing you need to do early on, a bit of tower playing advice. First thing you need to do early on is get to Magi, because Magi are one of the best range units in the game.
Okay.
So we need to get there pretty quickly, so for that we need a Mage Guild and a Golem Factory. So we build the Golem Factory, which gets us stone golems.
Sure.
Which aren't really all that good. But so the super high level players will tell you that like building all the unit buildings in your main castle and then just buying them out every week is actually really bad. What you should be doing is looking around the map for the most efficient units you can get.
Because you can take over other people's castles and then get their units, right?
Exactly. You can also recruit units in the field based on this skill called diplomacy. So if you get diplomacy, you can hire the units onto your army. So they say you should technically be looking around for the most efficient units and just hiring them on instead of buying out, but it's way easier to just buy out from your castle, so I'm just going to do So we continue to need to get the units. So we need to.
I remember how as well when you hover over them, it says like lots of, which gives you a rough indication of how many of them.
Yeah,
there are.
you don't get number. There's a skill that can tell you number, but you don't
Oh,
get
really?
number.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a skill. I can't remember what it's called. Scouting, I think it is.
Okay.
That lets you see exactly how the unit stack. But most of the time it goes from like a number of to like lots to many to throng to whatever.
Throng. That was the word they used. Yeah.
So again, stack up. Of course, this guy to move, get free hits on the ranged unit, and they're dead.
Wow.
Pretty
that was
easy.
a lot of.
Yeah, sir. They're the tier 1 Inferno unit, they don't have anything to them. They just fold like wet paper. You just need to gather
technical
all this.
term.
That's a technical term. Gather everything, gather all the things.
Sure.
Keep going, so we're nearly the end of the week, so we get more units at the end of the week. Oh, free artifact. What does this
the
do again?
Undertaker.
Oh, right, okay, so this is irrelevant for us because we don't have necromancy. So that doesn't really...
So that's just like a backpack where you just store everything you're not wearing?
Yeah, this is all your hero stuff. You can have specific slots. You can just put stuff in here that you don't want active. Everything in here isn't active, everything on here is active.
Sure.
We don't have necromancy, so there's no point in really wearing it, so we just put it away.
Makes sense.
Free
morale.
Castle. Get our mage guild, which is important because we're playing tower. So we need to go this way and get the... We need this here, which is a shipyard, to build ships, because we're on a small island, so we need to get out of it eventually. And we have Mage Tower now. There we go. Exactly what we needed before the start of the next week, because we want a lot of Magi pretty early on.
So that was just like influence how many of them appear per week?
Yeah, so every week you get a new set number of the specific unit depending on your castle size. So it goes from fort to citadel to castle, and that ups the amount of units you get per week.
Sure.
But we wanted to get the Mage Guild up, or sorry, the Mage Guild up by the end of the first week, because it means that when the next week comes around, we've got the units that you get for building the building, but also the next week's units. So we get a little boost to the amount of Magi we get.
Makes sense.
So we just pass, and then so all dwellings increase population, so that's just a normal week. Every so often you get like little events that happen at the start of every week that says this specific unit population doubles or whatever. So you sometimes get lucky and get one of your units.
Is that in terms of like all tower units, or is it like a specific unit?
No, it's a specific unit stack. So it's
weird.
It's like Magi double this week, and it's
weird.
You get double the amount of Magi. And
is it always like one of your units, or can it be
no,
like
it'll be any unit.
Right.
Any unit in existence.
That's a lot of units.
Even units that you can't hire from any castle, so like nomads and stuff like that, can be up.
So that is just a dice roll. Okay.
Yeah, that's just a complete dice roll. So now that we have Magi, we want to try and get our economy working again. So we need to build a blacksmith and a marketplace. Build the blacksmith first. That gives us. That gives us an ammo cart, which means that our gremlins never run out of ammo. So it says their shots is the amount of ranged attacks it has.
Oh, is that per combat?
Yeah, per combat.
Oh wow.
It has 8 shots, but now that we have an ammo cart, that's now infinite.
Oh wow. Okay, sure.
Which is good.
Which I'm assuming with the amount of ranged units you have is a good idea.
Our top tier unit is a ranged unit, and it's a ridiculously good ranged unit, so we need ammo cart to kind of supplement that.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we go fight these guys to try and get the shipyard. So yeah, this is the thing. So sometimes they'll just go, we don't want to fight you, we want to join you for 3,000 gold.
Swayed by your diplomatic tongue. Are these zombies?
These are zombies. So we don't want zombies because they're undead. So we just fight them instead.
Okay. Why would you fight them? Oh, because you get experience.
Because you get experience for it.
Sure.
Again, so the problem is now we've split our ranged units, which is actually kind of bad placement. One on each end of the map. We want to try and focus it all in one place. So that the stack goes better, but it doesn't really matter because these are just zombies.
So the combat kind of areas like this, are they dependent on the terrain you're on when you fight them?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it depends. So this, because we're on a kind of arid area, we have all these cracks in the floor and like bones and stuff. But you could be on very verdant hills that are all green and all that sort of stuff. Or when you're attacking a castle, you're
not guaranteed to have like this thing blocked in the middle.
No, not guaranteed.
Okay.
So we just split it 2 and 2.
That's a hell of a walk animation on that thing.
He's a golem. He can't really move all that well.
It's true.
Oh, see, that's the morale thing. So good morale happens, so she gets an extra turn, which is a free attack. Just need to. So they went up the way. So the obsidian golems are really good. So we just send them in. Hopefully finish it off. There we go.
There you go. Okay. So how is it doing the math on how many you kill? Is this like each one has a certain amount of
so it's health versus attack score. Just stick with the XP because we've got some gold in there. XP archery. Free gold. Right, we desperately need to get this city hall up, so we need to build a marketplace. Move on. So what we're going to try and do on this map, if I can pull it off, we're going to need one of those eventually, is do something called a Grail Rush. So on every map there is the Holy Grail, which is a specific item hidden in the map somewhere underground.
Treasure pieces, right?
You get obelisks which reveal, if I go to the thing, you get this puzzle map. And when you get obelisks, they reveal parts of the puzzle map.
Yep.
And that shows you where the Grail is. The Grail gives you a shit ton of gold, increases your unit growth rate by 50%, and it also gives you something unique to be depending on what faction you're.
Okay.
So most of the time it's so they want to join for greater glory, don't really care, kill them anyway. Most of the time it's just kind of, we're going to give you your unit's most needed resource. So for tower that would be gems or whatever.
Right, okay.
But that's part of the reason why the new faction of Conflux was so broken, was because their Grail bonus was your mage guild now has every spell.
Oh wow.
So so instead of you get a dice roll depending on what spells you get in your mage guild. But if you got the Aurora Borealis, I think it was, for Conflux, they got every spell. So you would go into combat with literally every single spell, and you could just wipe the floor with people because you would have the most powerful spells.
And they never fixed it?
Oh no, they would never like patch it or anything like that, you don't need to. So we get our city hall. So we start earning 2,000 gold per week, which is pretty much what we needed because we're learning a bit low on money.
So I've never actually seen anyone grab the Grail. Like I've got a bunch of obelisks when I've played, but I've never actually seen anyone grab the Grail.
Today's your lucky day because we're going to try and get it.
Okay.
I need to be fast about it, but I can probably do it.
You haven't seen any obelisks yet, that's the problem.
I know where they are on the map though.
Oh, they're not random.
Everything on the map is stagnant. Like, there's no...
Right. There's no procedural generation going on here.
This was a game from 2002, they didn't know how to do that yet. I don't know, fucking...
I'm trying to think if there were another game that had random maps like this. I'm sure they existed.
These aren't random maps. Oh, there you go. We got lucky and they did double damage and killed.
Can you change the position of your units to start?
I'm pretty sure we can. I never do, but I'm pretty sure you can.
This is the fact that you said, like, hey, these ranged ones shouldn't be set up like that.
Yeah, I can try and maybe do it. I can't remember how. It's weird.
There's no morale.
Yeah, so no morale gets an extra turn, clear out the units. So basically, every combat, the checklist in your head goes, deal with the ranged unit, then deal with the most powerful unit, and then clean up.
Okay.
Because the ranged units just sit and fire at stuff for free. So we get, for 1,000 gold, we get 1 spell power, 1 knowledge. We have 11 knowledge already, so we get a spell power.
Spell power. Okay.
More XP. Yes, basic air magic, exactly what we wanted. Because his speciality is in chain lightning, and that's an air spell.
Okay.
So we want that as good as possible, so we get some basic air magic to increase the effectiveness of chain lightning.
Because you haven't actually used a spell yet.
I haven't needed to. They're all pretty easy.
So is your mule character just sitting in the castle?
Yeah, he doesn't need to. Pathfinding is fine. So yeah, the Witch's Hunt just teaches you a free skill, like at random. And we got Pathfinding, which is movement across land, which is pretty good. So this turn we're probably going to need to mule her out because the guy's going to be at the bottom of the map. Upgrade the Mage Tower so we get one of the best range units in the game, which is Archmage. Old dudes with big staffs.
Sure.
So now...
What was that?
What?
The trade winds thing that's appeared
Alright,
there.
so yeah, this is because this map is based on like the story of the map as your like individual nations on each island. You get traders that come through and just give you free stuff.
I didn't know there was a story to maps. I thought
like
they were just like
little,
but there's like
stories.
special things that happen depending on the map.
Yeah, basically.
Huh. Okay. Is there a level editor for this game?
Yes,
oh,
there is.
Okay.
People have made some bonkers levels from what I remember.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
She already knows spells. So yeah, this is the Mage Guild that teaches you all the spells. What spells you get at what level are completely random.
Okay.
This isn't awful. We've got Dispel, which is good.
I remember Stone Skin.
Stone Skin's okay. Bless is pretty good. Dispel's had the important one because there's this game. So there was a concept in this game called blind locking.
Okay.
So there's a spell called Blind, which basically says, I'm just going to fight people while I talk about this. Okay. Spell called Blind, which basically says, when the unit's blinded, it can't attack and loses its turn for 3 turns or until it's hit. So you would identify the most powerful unit on the enemy form and blind it for 3 turns. So it couldn't do anything, so it was basically useless. And then do it again, and do it again, and basically lock out their best character for the entire fight while you kill their entire army. So basically it became like 9 on 10, and their best unit was gone.
There's a chance that their hero could like dispel that.
Yeah, which is why spells like Dispel were good, because they would go blind and you would go Dispel, and that was that would counter their kind of thing. But you don't always get Dispel because it's a roll of the dice. So if someone runs at you with a blind and you don't have a Dispel, you're basically fucked.
Right.
This is morale, isn't it? Yeah, +1 morale. Okay, that's fine.
So a lot of those items.
The artifacts, yeah, there's a shit ton. You can like find them randomly in chests or lying around on the map.
Okay.
Disguise. Yeah. Okay. So that's a what is this called again? Field spell, which basically says, you change what your hero looks like to be the most powerful of whatever your army is. So you could have a mule running around that doesn't have any units on it, and you cast Disguise on it, and it looks like a really powerful army. So the enemy don't attack you, and your mule gets to survive.
So it's the same hero, but it's the creatures that they have changed to be
whatever your most powerful unit is. So it's a new week. So the mule.
I remember the last time I saw this game, we were playing it on a really, really terrible computer.
Yep.
And that in turn would take some time.
It would chug a little bit.
A little bit, and then you're just hitting the button and immediately continuing.
So we're gonna get. Kind of want genies, so we're gonna go for genies because genies are pretty good. And then we'll go for the capital, which is the most amount of money you can get. Fuck off, Wolf Riders, don't need you.
So is there any advantage to like taking creatures from the wild?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The super high tier players will look at the entire map of like units and identify which ones are the most valuable.
Sure.
And then save those and try and recruit them later because.
But you do get like a morale bonus.
Yeah, you get weird morale issues where because you're mixed and matched from different factions, you get weird morale issues.
Sure.
Okay, so you need to die. You need to die. So again, you just kind of you're scanning the field and looking at what's the most dangerous.
Yeah.
We had 2 11 stacks and 10 stacks. You kill the 11 stacks first. It's pretty easy.
Sure.
They have 10 health.
There was something really cool. I remember playing this where like your basic units. Like stacking like 100 or 50 of them on one and just seeing the damage they do.
Yeah, there's like 102 Master Gremlins here, and they do 4 attack per. Oh no, sorry, 2 damage per ranged unit, so that ends up being 200 damage, which is pretty good. Obsidian Golems fly down here.
But are super vulnerable, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah, they die like nothing. They've only got 5 health, 4 health.
Okay.
Just nothing.
Wait, 290 damage is
exactly.
Pretty great.
Pretty good. The Magi do way more, but you'll have less of them.
Sure.
Okay, so now we can run back up here and get our mule. The problem is we can't mule properly because we've now got upgraded tier 3 and tier 4 units, whereas she doesn't have upgraded, so the stacks don't come down, so I'm just going to get him to run back.
You said a bunch of words there.
Sorry, right. So we upgraded our tier 3 units, which are these guys, the stone golems. So we upgraded the building they come from to get iron golems. So our main army doesn't have the upgrades, so the stack won't come down
So you wouldn't
properly.
stack them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we just upgrade this unit and pull it down, and it's fine. Again, same for the Magi. We've actually got Archmagi now, so we upgrade him, pull the stack down.
Is upgrading them basically the same price as buying the same amount again?
Yeah,
or is it cheaper?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit cheaper, but it's basically like you're supplementing the cost between the units.
Sure.
So we go upgraded altar to get Master Genies. Now, Master Genies are really cool units because they're one of the unique ones. So like, Archmagi are good because they're not only really good ranged units because they do sit like 9 damage a shot. And have no melee penalty, which says that if an enemy engages that unit in melee combat, it means that they take a negative to ranged attacks. This guy doesn't. He's got no melee penalty. Genies are really cool because they have the spellcaster text, which basically says that you can pick a unit on your side of the field because it's random benefit. It has to be targeted to your guys, and it gives them a random buff spell.
Oh wow!
So
it's always positive.
Yeah, it's always positive because of random benefit. So you basically, I'll show you what you do with the Master Genies in combat when we get there. So I think now we can maybe push out and try and find the Grail.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get level 2 Mage Guild just for.
Yeah, I imagine that you'd have a lot more. You would be pushing the Mage Guild pretty heavy, but it doesn't seem like you're.
It's not
racing
that well
up
because our main hero's got Chain Lightning, which is like the best tier 3 spell. We
Oh,
don't really
so you
need to
don't
worry
need
about upgrading it all that much.
Sure. Okay.
Lightning Bolts are really good tier 2, so we're good.
Okay.
We're in good stead. So now we can try and push out and find the Grail.